Good morning, my friends. Let me ask you a question. What if exactly 7 days from now you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize who you saw, not because you became worse, but because you became so much stronger, wiser, and disciplined that the old version of you disappeared forever? If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, the first place to start is your morning. Because your morning is your foundation. Think about it. When you wake up late, what happens? You rush. You skip breakfast. You start your day with stress and regret. You feel like the day controls you instead of you controlling the day. But if you wake up early, before the sun rises, before the noise of the world begins, you enter a different world. A world where you have power over your thoughts, your body, and your intentions. Use this time to sit in silence for a few minutes. Reflect on who you are and who you want to be. Close your eyes and listen to your breath. You will realize that most problems are just noise created by your restless mind. Then move your body. It doesn't matter if it's 10 push-ups, a 30-minute run, or simple stretching. Just move, because your body is like stagnant water. If you don't move it, it rots with laziness, weakness, and excuses. But when you move it, even a little, your energy starts to flow. You feel alive. After that, spend time learning. Read even 2 pages of a powerful book. Listen to a motivational speech. Write down your goals for the day. Remind yourself of your dreams, because in the morning your mind is fresh and pure. Whatever you put into it at that time sinks deep into your subconscious. This is not about waking up early to impress anyone. This is about starting your day with intention instead of reaction. When you change your morning, you change your mindset. When you change your mindset, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your entire life, starting in just 1 week. If you really want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must cut out distractions completely. Understand this, distractions are not always obvious. People think distractions are only about wasting time on social media or watching pointless videos, but it's deeper than that. Distractions are anything that takes your focus away from what truly matters. When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Most people pick up their phone, check notifications, scroll through endless feeds, and before they realize it, 1 hour is gone. That is how dreams are stolen, not by someone else, but by the distractions you willingly allow into your life. This week, remove those distractions ruthlessly. If social media is not adding value to your growth today, delete the apps for the next 7 days. If your phone keeps ringing with pointless conversations, put it on silent and tell people you are busy building your life. If your friends invite you to hang out just to gossip or complain about their lives, politely say no. Distractions also come from your own mind, the urge to multitask, to check your phone every 5 minutes, to read meaningless news, or to react to every small notification. Every time you switch your attention, you lose the depth of focus needed to create something great. Remember, every minute spent on distractions is a minute stolen from your dreams. When you cut out distractions, you will feel lonely at first. It will feel uncomfortable because you're used to filling every silent moment with noise. But in that silence, you will meet your real thoughts, your real fears, your real potential. That's where you will build mental strength. In these 7 days, become so focused that nothing can pull you away from your goals. Train your mind to sit with your work for hours without checking your phone. Spend your evenings reflecting, learning, and planning instead of consuming useless content. When you return to the world after 1 week, people will see a different person, someone who is calm, powerful, and deeply focused. That is how you become unrecognizable. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, you must work like no one else. Most people do what is required to survive. They do their job, finish their basic tasks, and then they stop. They spend the rest of their time complaining about their life, wishing for success, and waiting for some miracle to change everything. But miracles don't happen for people who sit and wait. Miracles happen for people who work so hard that they create their own miracles. This week, push yourself beyond your limits. Whatever work you do, whether you're studying, building a business, working a job, or learning a skill, do it with full focus and intensity. When everyone else works for 1 hour, work for 2. When they take long breaks to chat or scroll their phones, stay in your flow and finish your goals. Don't just work to finish your task list. Work to build your mastery. Work with a mindset that says, I will not just complete this, I will become the best at this. Study the details no one else notices. Practice the basics until they become your nature. Improve small things daily because those small improvements compound into greatness. You will feel tired. Your mind will scream, this is too much, take it easy, you're already doing better than others. Ignore that voice. Because you're not working to be better than others, you're working to be unrecognizable to your old self. You're working to build confidence that comes only from earning it through discipline and effort. Don't look at the clock this week. Let others count hours while you count results. Let others chase comfort while you chase growth. And remember this, hard work never betrays you. You may not see instant results, but deep inside, your character, your skills, and your mindset are changing every single minute you push yourself. When you work like no one else, you create results that no one else can achieve. And by the end of this week, people will look at your discipline, your energy, and your achievements and wonder how you transform so fast. That is when you will know you have truly become unrecognizable. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, read a life-changing book. Most people read casually. They read for entertainment, to pass time, or to feel smart in front of others. But that is not the purpose of reading. Reading is meant to rewire your thinking, to break your old patterns, and to install powerful new beliefs within you. This week, choose a book that challenges you deeply. Not a book that simply motivates you for 5 minutes, but a book that makes you uncomfortable with your current mindset. Find a book that speaks about success, discipline, psychology, or life wisdom in a way that forces you to reflect on your weaknesses and your potential. Don't just read it for the sake of finishing it. Read it to transform. Sit with a pen in your hand. Underline the lines that hit your soul. Write down your reflections. Pause after each chapter and ask yourself, how does this apply to my life right now? Where am I lacking in this wisdom? What can I do today to implement it? When you read like this, you don't just gain knowledge, you gain a new perspective. Understand this. A powerful book is a mentor. It contains years of someone else's experiences, failures, and victories compressed into a few hundred pages. If you read it with humility and openness, it's like having a conversation with a great mind, learning lessons that took them decades to understand. Don't be the person who says, I don't have time to read. Make time. Wake up earlier or sleep later, but read at least 1 hour every day this week. Carry the book with you everywhere. Read it during breaks instead of checking your phone. Even 10 pages read with full attention can change the direction of your day. The knowledge you gain from a life-changing book will reflect in your words, your decisions, and your confidence. People will notice your wisdom and clarity. They will see that you think differently from everyone else, and that is when you will realize, by feeding your mind with powerful thoughts this week, you have already become unrecognizable to the world. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, start speaking with power. Understand this, your words reflect your mind. Most people speak carelessly. They complain, gossip, criticize others, and speak without thinking about the impact of their words. They use language that makes them sound weak, unsure, or negative. And they wonder why no one listens to them or respects their opinions. This week, speak with intention. Speak with clarity and confidence. Before you say anything, ask yourself, is this adding value to the conversation? Is this reflecting my strength and vision? If it doesn't, remain silent. Silence carries far more power than empty words. When you speak to someone, look into their eyes with calm confidence. Speak slowly. Don't rush your words just to fill space. Powerful people speak fewer words, but every word carries weight because it is backed by deep thinking and self-belief. Avoid filler words like, maybe, I think, and I'm not sure. Replace them with statements that show conviction in what you say. Do not gossip about others this week. Don't waste your words discussing other people's failures or mistakes. Instead, speak about ideas, goals, strategies, solutions, and visions. When people hear you talk about big things with clarity, they will see you differently. They will sense your seriousness and purpose. Speak with respect, even when you disagree. People often think speaking powerfully means speaking harshly or dominating others. That is not power. That is insecurity. True power is when you remain calm, respectful, and firm at the same time. Speak with kindness, but make sure your words leave no confusion about your stance and values. Also, speak powerfully to yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your external voice. Stop saying, I can do this, or I'm not good enough. Replace it with, I will find a way, and I am capable of achieving this. The strongest words you will ever hear are the ones you say to yourself daily. By the end of this week, when you speak, people will listen. They will feel your presence in your words. They will sense your confidence and clarity. And that is when you will know you have become unrecognizable, because your words now carry the power to influence, inspire, and lead. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, train your body hard. Understand this. Your body is the physical representation of your discipline, your mindset, and your willpower. Most people neglect their bodies. They say, I don't have time to exercise, or I'm too tired to work out, not realizing that it is their lack of training that makes them tired, unmotivated, and weak in the first place. This week, push your body beyond what it is used to. If you normally walk, start jogging. If you jog, start running. If you train for 30 minutes, train for 45 or an hour. It's not about becoming an athlete in 7 days. It's about sending a message to your mind that says, I am in control here, not my excuses. When you train your body hard, something magical happens. You build inner strength. Your mind starts respecting your decisions because it sees you following through despite discomfort. Every drop of sweat cleanses your doubts. Every push-up, every rep, every mile run tells your mind that you are capable of enduring far more than you ever imagined. Don't just train for physical appearance. Train for mental toughness. When you do those last few painful reps that make your muscles burn, remind yourself this is exactly where growth happens. Most people stop when it gets hard. You will go further when it gets hard. You will embrace that pain because you know it is shaping you into a stronger, more disciplined human being. Train with full focus. Leave your phone aside. Don't check messages or notifications between sets. This is your sacred time to build yourself. Feel every movement, every breath, every heartbeat. Let your training be a meditation that connects your mind and body into one powerful force. Eat clean this week. Fuel your body like an athlete. Drink more water. Eat natural, whole foods. Cut out junk, sugar, and processed trash. What you eat becomes your energy, your mood, and your thoughts. Respect your body enough to feed it what it truly needs. When you train your body hard, your posture changes. You walk with more confidence. Your shoulders rise. Your eyes become sharper. Your energy radiates strength and discipline. People will look at you and sense that you are different. They won't know exactly what changed, but you will know you became unrecognizable because you decided to train your body like a warrior. And in doing so, you trained your mind to conquer anything. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, do one thing every day that scares you. Most people live their entire lives trapped within the walls of their comfort zone. They wake up, follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, do the same tasks, and go to bed, only to repeat it again the next day. They avoid anything that makes them nervous, anxious, or uncertain. But growth does not happen in comfort. Growth happens where fear lives. This week, choose something that makes your heart beat faster just by thinking about it. It could be making that phone call you've been avoiding because you fear rejection. It could be speaking up in a meeting where you usually remain silent because you doubt your worth. It could be recording a video, sharing your knowledge with the world, even though you're terrified of judgment. It could be applying for that opportunity you feel you're not ready for, starting a side hustle, approaching someone to build a connection, or signing up for a challenge that pushes your limits. When you do something that scares you, it doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. The real success is that you showed up despite the fear. You proved to yourself that fear does not control your decisions. Every time you face fear, it loses its grip on you a little more. You become free. You will feel discomfort. Your mind will come up with 1,000 excuses to delay it, to avoid it, to postpone it to someday. Recognize that voice and do it anyway. The more you hesitate, the bigger your fear grows. The faster you act, the weaker it becomes. By doing what scares you, you expand your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who takes action, someone who is brave, someone who moves forward while others remain stuck in their doubts. Your confidence does not come from motivational quotes. It comes from action, from doing what your old self could never do. This week, keep a small journal. Every night, write down what you did that scared you that day. Reflect on how you felt before doing it and how you felt after. You will realize that the fear was mostly in your mind and reality was never as bad as your imagination made it out to be. When you do one thing every day that scares you, by the end of this week, your mind will operate on a completely different frequency. You will carry yourself with silent power because you know you have faced your fears and conquered them. That is when people will look at you and say, there's something different about you, and you will smile, knowing that you have become unrecognizable, not because the world changed, but because you changed within. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, cut toxic people out of your life temporarily. Understand this, your environment shapes your mindset more than you realize. You could be working hard to build your confidence, discipline, and vision, but if you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, criticize, doubt, gossip, and drain your energy, their negativity will slowly poison your progress. This week, observe your circle carefully. Who are the people you talk to daily? Do they speak about growth, goals, and solutions? Or do they spend their time blaming the world, discussing problems, and pulling down anyone who tries to rise above the ordinary? Toxic people don't always look like enemies. Sometimes they are your close friends or even family who say they love you, but constantly fill your mind with fear, limitations, and doubt. They tell you to be realistic, don't take risks, or you're not good enough for that. They think they're protecting you, but in reality, they're stopping you from becoming who you are meant to be. This week, distance yourself from them. You don't need to fight, argue, or explain yourself. Simply reduce contact. Don't pick up every call. Don't respond instantly to every message. If they ask you to hang out, tell them politely that you are working on yourself right now. If you live with them, minimize conversations and focus on your goals silently. This is not about hating them. It's about loving yourself enough to protect your energy while you transform. When you cut toxic people out temporarily, you create space to think clearly. You will notice your mind feels lighter, your confidence feels stronger, and your motivation rises because no one is watering your doubts. In that silence, you will hear your own voice, the voice of your dreams, your potential, and your intuition guiding you forward. Don't worry about what they will think. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves anyway, and when you return after 1 week of focused growth, they will see the difference in your energy, discipline, and clarity. Some will feel inspired by your transformation. Others will feel threatened because your growth reminds them of their laziness. That is not your problem. Remember, you are not cutting them off forever. You are creating a boundary to build yourself right now. When you become strong, wise, and unbreakable, you will be able to deal with any negativity without it affecting your mindset. But until then, protect your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. This 1 week of isolation from toxic people can give you clarity, confidence, and inner peace that you've been missing for years. That is how you become unrecognizable. By removing what holds you back and rising into the person you were always meant to be. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, build a ruthless routine. Most people live their lives based on mood and emotion. They wake up when they feel like it, work when they feel motivated, eat whatever they crave, and rest whenever they feel tired. This is why they remain average, because they let their emotions decide their actions. This week, create a strict routine that controls your day from start to finish. Wake up at the same time every morning, no matter how late you slept. Your mind will resist it. Your body will feel tired, but that is exactly where you build your discipline. When you wake up before the world, you enter a space of peace and clarity where you can plan your goals without distraction. Schedule your day in blocks. Allocate specific hours for your most important work, for learning, for training your body, and for strategic rest. Follow this routine whether you feel like it or not, because motivation comes and goes, but routine builds unbreakable habits that remain with you forever. Eat your meals at the same time every day. Eat clean, simple food that fuels your mind and body. Stop the random snacking and emotional eating. Drink more water. Sleep at the same time every night. Create a night routine where you read, reflect, and visualize your goals before bed instead of scrolling your phone mindlessly. Most people think routine makes life boring, but the truth is, routine frees your mind from decision fatigue. When you already know what you are doing at every hour, you stop wasting mental energy deciding what to do next. That energy is redirected towards creating, building, and learning. This week, become obsessed with your routine. Let people call you crazy or rigid. It doesn't matter, because in these 7 days, you are reprogramming your mind to become unstoppable. You are training yourself to live like the 1% of people who achieve extraordinary results, because their actions are not driven by mood, but by purpose. Don't compromise your routine for anyone. If someone calls you for a casual hangout during your learning time, say no. If you feel tired before your workout time, do it anyway. If you feel bored during your work block, push through it. Every time you choose routine over mood, you build another layer of discipline within your character. By the end of this week, you will notice something powerful. Your confidence will rise because you are keeping promises to yourself. Your productivity will double because your mind knows exactly what to focus on. Your energy will feel calm and stable because your life is no longer chaotic. That is when people will look at you and wonder what changed. And you will know you became unrecognizable because you built a routine so ruthless that it transformed your days, your mindset, and your future. If you want to become unrecognizable in just 1 week, visualize the new you every single day. Most people live their lives based only on what they can see in front of them. They believe what their current reality shows them. If they see failure, they believe they are a failure. If they see lack, they believe they are not enough. But understand this. Everything you achieve in life is created twice. First in your mind, then in your reality. This week, start your mornings and end your nights by closing your eyes and seeing the person you want to become. Not vaguely, but with complete clarity. See how you wake up early with energy and purpose. See yourself walking with confidence, your shoulders back, your eyes sharp, your presence strong. See yourself working with focus and discipline, finishing tasks that once felt impossible for you. See yourself training your body hard, feeling every rep and pushing through every bit of pain with determination. Visualize how you speak. Hear your voice sounding calm, clear, and powerful. See how people listen when you speak, how they respect your words, and feel inspired by your mindset. Visualize yourself learning every day, reading books, absorbing knowledge, and applying it with wisdom. See yourself cutting out distractions, saying no to useless temptations, and using your time with intention. Imagine how your evenings end. Visualize yourself reflecting on your day with satisfaction, knowing you gave your 100%. Feel that pride within you, the confidence that comes from living with discipline and purpose. See yourself sleeping peacefully, knowing you are becoming stronger, smarter, and more powerful every single day. Don't just visualize your actions, feel the emotions. Feel the pride of discipline, the gratitude for your growth, the peace of clarity, and the silent confidence of someone who knows where they are going. The mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. When you visualize deeply with feeling, your brain starts believing it is true. Your behavior then begins to align with that image. Do this every day this week, without fail. Even if it's just 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before you sleep. Make it a sacred ritual. Over time, your subconscious mind will accept this new identity as your reality, and your actions will naturally start matching it. At the end of this week, you will feel a shift within you. You will notice yourself thinking, speaking, and acting differently. You will carry yourself with a quiet power that others will sense immediately. People will see a change in your aura, your energy, and your presence, and they won't understand how it happened so fast, but you will know you became unrecognizable because you saw your new self before anyone else could. And that vision became your reality. My friends, in just 1 week, if you live with discipline, focus, and courage, you will no longer recognize the person you used to be. Remember, change doesn't take years. It takes decisions. Become unrecognizable, not for others, but for yourself. Because once you see what you're truly capable of, you will never go back to who you were.